Start recording. Stop recording. Button.
Guys, I'm back with another video. I was actually watching a YouTube video the other day that gave me an idea to make a video about something that is near and dear to me. I was watching the Impressive Channel. Shout out to the Impressive Channel. I love her channel. The Impressive Channel. And she was talking about Rihanna wants to have a kid without a man. And, you know, people have their opinion about that. And I kind of wanted to make a video about my opinion about a woman raising a kid by herself. So that's something that is very personal to me that I can relate to because I was also raised by one parent. Sorry guys, let me make sure my camera is. You guys know I'm blind. The blind bandit is back. And I was raised by one parent. I was raised by my mom. My dad was in and out of my life, all of my life. So I was pretty much raised by my mom. There are pros and there are cons to being raised in a single parent home. For me, I want to be politically correct here. I want to be really, really, really politically correct here. I was the only child with my mom. My dad has other kids, of course. You know, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. My dad has other kids, and I am the only child with my mom, and I am the baby of the overall picture with mom and dad. So some of the pros of being raised in a single parent home are, for me, was really nothing. Like, there were no, like, really no pros. You know, mom had to work all the time, and, you know, she paid as much attention to me as she could, but there were things lacking. The lack of attention, the lack of affection, the lack of, you know, just things as a kid that you need. You know, they love you. The love, that was a pro. The love, they love you a little bit more extra because, you know, your other parent isn't in the picture. And I'm going to talk about dad because that's what it was for me. My mom, you know, did the best she could raising me, but I feel like a woman cannot teach a boy how to be a man because she's not a man. She can teach you how to do things, but you need a man to teach you how to be a man. I'm talking about me personally. I feel like I needed a guy to teach me how to do certain things. I feel like I needed a guy to teach me how to shave correctly. My mom doesn't know how to shave. My mom is a woman. My mom never had to shave a beard or know what's going on downstairs with your genitals and, you know, your body changes because she's a woman. She doesn't know what the body changes for a guy is because she's not a guy. And I just felt like I needed a guy to be there to teach me, you know, basically the ropes of becoming a man and becoming, you know, growing up male. You need a male in your life. For me personally, I feel that way. Growing up, when I was little, my dad was in my life a little bit. And I was a daddy's boy. Honestly, I was really a daddy's boy. My dad always showed me mad love, always hugging me, always kissing me. his nickname for me was Monster or Big Papa. And he used to always, when I was doing something really bad, he would call me Monster. And when he wanted something from me or wanted me to do something for him, he called me Big Papa. I had learned early on, the difference. And then he dipped out for a while. And it really affected me growing up, him dipping in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And it made me grow like a hard shell towards him. Because he not only was he dipping in and out of my life, he was also dipping out of my mom's life, and they were married. And that took a toll on us financially and emotionally. Growing up as a kid without a father, you would, see your friends with your dad, with the dads, and you would see stuff with your dad. The dads would come up to the school and people would ask where your dad is. You're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know where that nigga is. I don't know where he is. And it started to affect me more and more as I grew up, and more as people were in fathers were in their children's lives, and I was seeing dads in the home. Like my best friend, her dad was in her home. My other best friend as a kid, her father was in the home. My guy best friend, which is also my cousin, his dad was in the home, and so on and so forth. And even once I got in high school, my boyfriend's dad was in their home. So it was really weird to me, and I kind of developed a yearning for that male figure. And I might be about to go deep, but here goes. I found myself looking for men that would treat me like a dad is supposed to treat you. You know what I mean? I started to look for guys based off the feeling that they would, the feeling of security, the feeling of them loving me like unconditional. I started to look for that, and I started to yearn for that. And growing up, once I started dating guys and stuff like that, I found myself in that fix. And I would often sit and thinking like, why am I going through this with this person, blah blah blah. And it was because I was yearning for that father figure, because my dad was not in my life. I had a grandfather, which I know you guys, if you guys know any of, seen my video about my grandfather, he was a very important part of my life, but he was older. He was an older man, and I was really young when he died. He wasn't able to, teach me the things I needed to be taught, becoming a man. And that was also traumatic. It's very traumatic. So I do think that you need a father. You need both of your parents in the home, because they both serve a purpose. You need the love of both of your parents. And as a gay boy, I might get tore up for this, but as a gay boy, your dad's kind of like your first boyfriend. Just kind of like, for a girl, your dad is your first boyfriend. Your dad sets the tone for the type of men you're going to date. For me, that's my personal thing. Something else growing up, I felt abandoned a lot of the time by my father not being there and being absent out of my life. I felt abandoned. I felt growing up and him not being there for months or even years at a time. I felt like it was me for a long time. Especially as a little kid, I felt like I had done something to him to make him walk away from us. And as a little kid, you don't really know the ins and out of your parents' relationship, or you don't know anything. All you know is he's not there, or he comes and then he leaves, or my dad dipped in and out of my life like all of my life, and it affected my relationship with men. It affected my relationship with my partners. It affected my relationship, with friends. I would often feel left out and not jealous or envious, but a little like, damn, well, why didn't my dad love me enough to stay in my life like my friend's dad? Like one of my friends, Trey, his dad is definitely a guy who is my dad. He is my dad, because he came into my life at a time where I really needed a male figure, and it was almost like he knew, and he accepts us for being gay. He accepted us for being really gay, like wearing hair and makeup, and he loved us down boots. Like he really loved us down boots, and that made me feel so good to know that a guy loved me unconditionally and didn't want anything from me. Because for so long, I felt like guys had sniffed out that I was looking for that type of affection, so they would draw me in with the treating me good, and then once they got comfortable, it would be something else. Like they would want sex from me, or it was a very like, wow, like, and I didn't realize that for a while. Like I think I went through most of my early 20s dealing with guys who drew me in with treating me nice, treating me how I wanted to be treated, not judging me because I was gay. And I'm talking straight boys. Straight boys, they would, treat me really nice and, do all the things and then once they got comfortable enough, or they thought they had gotten in enough, then they would go in for what they really wanted me for, which were sexual favors and for sexual use and things like that. Even though we would still be friends and things like that, they would still, ask for sexual favors. That's just what guys do. And for me, that was a part of me not having a dad and yearning for that love and affection from a male that way, that led me down the road of dealing with DL men, dealing with trade, dealing with men that had not evil intentions or a motive, but they had a motive for being nice to me, a motive for accepting me, a motive for, being my friend. And, that really affected my life. And one day I woke up, maybe 4 years ago, because I've been celibate for 4 years. I woke up and I was like, I'm not having sex anymore, because I'm having sex for the wrong reasons. I'm like doing this stuff for the wrong reasons. I'm dating these guys for the wrong reason. And I really need to go on a journey where I find who I am as a person and get on the track where I need to get on. And my first step, I thought, was stop having sex, which I did. I stopped having sex. I stopped dealing with guys. I've been celibate for about 4 years now. Haven't touched the guy, haven't, had sex with a guy, haven't done any oral things with a guy or anything like that. And honestly, it's hard, but it's liberating. It's really, really, really liberating. And damn, I lost my thought. It was really, really liberating for me to do so, but I had to do that, and I thought that would have been it. My next my next steps I took was finding my inner peace. And finding my inner peace was a very hard struggle too, because in the midst of me going on this journey, in the midst of me trying to find my inner peace, I lost my sight. Then my kidneys failed, and then I was going through all these health issues, and it was very hard. Excuse me. So not having a dad in your life does affect your life. My life was affected tremendously not having my father in my life. And then the other thing, I just couldn't find my inner peace for some reason. I was peaceful, but there was something still bothering me. And, my dad would come visit, and I would treat him so bad. Like, him and my mom are over. They're still married, but they're separated. And he would come here, and I would just treat him so bad. I mean, really bad. Wouldn't talk to him. He would say things. He would try to talk to me. I was mean as a rattlesnake. Like, I was really, really terrible to him. And then one day I was praying, like, oh my God, like, I'm tired of carrying this baggage of my dad wasn't in my life, and why did he treat me like that, and all those things are the things. And it came to me, you have not forgiven him. You have to forgive him. And I'm like, oh my God, how can I forgive someone who wasn't in my life, who wasn't there when I graduated high school, who wasn't there when I got my got my license. He wasn't there when I started growing facial hair and didn't know what was going on. He wasn't there when I started growing in my nether regions. He wasn't there when my body was changed from a little boy to my man's, but he wasn't there. He wasn't there to hold my hand when bad things were going on in my life. He wasn't there to hold my hand or comfort me when I was being bullied in school. And how could I forgive someone who was not there for me and didn't really show me much love? And it came to me again. It was like, you have to forgive him for you. If you want to continue to carry this baggage around of daddy issues and, still pondering on things that happened in your childhood and stuff like that with him, you want to keep carrying that baggage around and dragging yourself down, fine. But if you don't, you need to forgive him. You need to have a talk with him, and you need to express to him how you felt, how you feel now, and how you guys can solve the issue and move on in life. And what ended up happening was he came and visited, and I was over treating him really bad. I was over carrying around that baggage that I didn't need to carry around, that was like weighing me down from stuff that I was carrying from childhood, and I needed to really let that shit go. And he came, and me and him had a really good talk, and I told him, I forgive you for everything. I'm sorry for everything I've ever said to you. And I mean, I've said some really fucked up things to my dad to hurt him, because I wanted him to feel the exact same hurt I felt as a little boy when we were supposed to go to Disney World and he walked out of our lives for years. I wanted him to feel that exact same pain the one day he came back into my life, and I was over him, and I was still a kid, and he said something to me and I said something to him, and he beat me really bad. I had to forgive him for all of that stuff. I had to forgive him for not being there on my first day of school. I had to forgive him for not being there at any of my dance recitals or my band recital. I had to forgive him for not being there for intimate moments that he should have shared with me as a male to male, son to father. I had to forgive him for all of that, and I did. I forgave him for everything. I let all of that shit go, and it felt so good. I felt like there was a pressure released off of me. I felt good. I felt like I had the power I really had the power. I thought I've had the power all these years by treating him bad, but I didn't. He had the power because he was controlling my emotions like a marionette. Like he was controlling my. I was the marionette. He was the puppeteer, and he was controlling my emotions and how I treat. And I thought I had the power, but it was really him who had the power. And at that moment when I forgave him and I told him how I felt all these years about everything, like I just laid my feelings out on the line, and I just basically told him, you can never get back childhood AJ, but what you can do is get to know adult AJ. And in the process of getting to know adult AJ, you will get a little insight on who childhood AJ was. You'll never get back to the time when I was a child because I'm not a child anymore. I'm an adult. And you guys, I'm almost 30. I just turned 29 in February. And I just had this talk with my dad right before I turned 29. All these years, I've been carrying that pain and all that anguish and all that anger for him in me. And I just finally released it. And he just was like, I'm sorry. I never even knew my actions were affecting you that way. I knew that you were angry at me, but I never knew the depth of you being angry at me. And in that moment, we became friends. Like now, I call my dad every day. I talk to him all the time. I can't wait till he come back to visit. Once the COVID-19 stuff is over, we're friends. Like we're building a relationship. And I love him. I feel like I love him again for the first time in years. I don't think I've loved my dad since I was a little boy, maybe like 5, and I'm 29 now. So the effects of not having a dad in your life could be traumatic. And then you could have a bum-ass dad who, my dad was a bum-ass nigga in a sense, but think about this think about it in a more positive way. What if your dad was a terrible person? Fortunately for me, my dad's not a terrible person. He just made really bad, terrible decisions. But what if your dad was a terrible person and he was in your life? Would you have turned out to be a terrible person like him? Would his actions have influenced you to become the person you are in life? Maybe it was a good thing he wasn't in your life. There's pros and cons to everything, and the pros to, not having a dad in your life, maybe he was a bum-ass fuck boy. And by him not being in your life, you were able to develop into a man that you could be proud of, your mom could be proud of, and most of all, you could be proud of. And not turn out to be like your dad and be a fuck boy. You know what I mean? Like, you can look at it that way, but for me, my dad wasn't a fuckboy per se. He just made really bad decisions. And he was a really good guy, always really nice, always loved everybody, know everybody. Everyone loves him. But he just made really bad decisions when it comes to his kids. And, he told me, like, he wasn't ready to be a dad, even though he was producing these children. He wasn't ready to be a dad, and my mom had told me that too, and it made sense once we had the conversation. He wasn't ready to be a dad. Yeah, guys go out there and have sex, and what happen if you have unprotected sex and things like that. But a lot of guys aren't ready to be fathers. That's why they stay out of their kids' lives, and they don't know how to be a father because some of them didn't have fathers. So, I don't want to really make this video really long, but not having a father in your life can be very traumatic. It can be good or it can be bad. It's all what you kind of make out of the situation. For me, my dad was out of my life and I became a really good person, a really great guy. I am a lot like my dad. My dad's the life of the party. He loves to laugh. He talks a lot. He's vibrant. And my mom is kind of like the opposite. My mom's very quiet. She's very reserved. She's very humble. She's very, conservative. And my dad's like the polar opposite, and I got a lot of that from my dad. But if I got a lot of attributes from my mom too, but I'm more like my dad. My dad's a free spirit. I'm a free spirit. Um, my dad's really talkative and, will get in a crowd of people and talk, whereas my mom won't get into a crowd of people and talk, and that's okay. But there could be pros and cons of not having a dad. It's all about what you make it. For me, having my dad did affect my life with men and my relationships and friends and stuff like that. And I'm sure it would be the same if I had my dad and didn't have my mom. You know what I mean? And a lot of this stuff is up for debate. But for me personally, I feel like dads should be in the home with their kids. Well, that was what I thought about this topic and about Rihanna wanting to have a kid without a father and what I went through as a kid without a father. I just wanted to, come and give my little opinion about it. I hope you guys like this video, watch this video, share this video. Rihanna has the resources to pretty much do whatever she wants. She's filthy rich. And I think Rihanna would make a great mom because she's a Pisces just like me. And we're very affectionate. We love when we love. And we love. And I love kids. And I'm pretty sure she will love kids. Rihanna has the resources to do what she wants. I just would want her to really think the decision over of having a kid, trying to have a kid without a father, or having a kid and not wanting the father to be in the life and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Rihanna would be a great mom. I just would want her to, think it over a little bit more. Pray on it, sleep on it, get some opinions, watch some videos, meet some people who fathers weren't in their lives. Because as I think her father was in her life all her life. So, it's she sees it as, she might see it a little different from how I see it. I see a father needs to be in their children's lives. To teach their boys how to be a man, to teach their girls, to set the standard for their female daughter or their trans daughter or whoever, to whatever woman in their, their daughter or their, what I'm saying. I'm getting tie-tongue now. They have to set the standard for their daughter and for their sons. And I think that goes for a mom and a dad. But for a dad to not be, this story's about a dad, but I think a dad should be in the life. So I think Rihanna should think it over a little bit more, get a little bit more opinion. Hear stories like mine and how, not having a father affects your life and stuff like that, or having him in and out your life or not in your life at all, how it affects your life. But I love you guys. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe. Share with everybody. I'm really trying to grow my page. I really want to grow my page. I really want to continue to be consistent. I'm going to keep making videos about things that, I care about and things like that. I'm going to make more videos about, my daily activity with being blind and stuff like that. And, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Send it to Rihanna. Any of you people out there know Rihanna, send it to Rihanna. Maybe she'll watch this video. And I love you guys, and I see you guys next time. Bye.
Stop recording.